Good morning. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Let's see if I can get this thing happening here.
Good morning. Hey.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. Hey, thanks for coming to a coffee and vinyl with me this morning. I think this is, let's see, number 29. Can you believe it? Tomorrow will be number 30, and that'll be like a whole month. Yeah. Hey, good morning, Carson. Cheers, Carson. Cheers. Trust you're doing well, Carson, and you're having a fabulous day, and in your part of the country. Yeah. I'm in a different position today. Sometimes I'm at my counter at the Record Crate in Raleigh, and sometimes I'm in my office. And today I'm in front of my counter, and I'll give you a visual in just a moment. Hey, good morning, Alan. Cheers. I'm so afraid I'll knock this coffee over and make a mess. Yeah. I'm doing okay, Carson. Thank you. Looking forward to getting a lot of cool things done today. And today's my Wake Forest day. And so I'm heading to Wake Forest. And then Lauren's coming in and help me with putting more things on eBay. I listed things yesterday. And if you haven't checked out my eBay store, folks, please do. Yeah. So I'm going to pick up my computer. I'm on my portable computer right now. And I'm going to pick it up and kind of give you guys a little bit of a visual. It's been a while since I've done a walkthrough, but there's my entry door. Got a window there. And here we go. And there's the old Edward McKay sign. It's called McKay. And so what we're going to work on are these tubs, these two tubs of records right here. Now, these came in last week as a buyback. And I told the person that I would like to let these records age before I touched them. And so we placed them right here. And now I'm just going to go through these. I have an empty crate right here. And I'm just going to go through these records and let's see if we can figure out what's in here. See if there's anything I would like to purchase. And then see what kind of offer I'm going to make to this guy. And but I'm going to open them up now. So let's see what's in here. I'm sure I got some records in tubs, but I don't think tubs are good for storing records. Yeah. Looks like chair cushions. Boy, I thought these were maggots, but it's just cloth pills or something like that. So yeah, this has a little bit of a fold built in, so I have no idea what these are. Oh, it's a drying mat. Is it for the kitchen? It's reversible. I have no idea. Hey, there's Lisa C. Hey, Lisa C. How are you? Good morning. Let's everybody give cheers to Lisa C. Cheers. Yeah, so it's going to probably take me an hour or so just to go through these records, or it could be just like that. So I'm going to put this drying mat over to the side. Does anybody know what a drying mat is? Is it for kitchen? Is it for dishes? I don't know. So here we go. Let's see what happens. Oh, this is exciting. Until you look at it like that, what is going on? What is going on here, folks? Okay, off to a good start. I got an envelope. Sometimes People like to make a database of all their records, thinking that, oh, he'll just look at the spreadsheet and this looks like a fax or something. Yeah, so oh, it is for the kitchen. Okay. I've never seen those. Oh, what we on about, Carson? Talk to me. Oh my gosh! So they have stuff and they have prices written down, but it says it's 2001. So let's see what we got here, folks. Oh, here's a receipt. My neighbor in Wake Forest offered me an electronic calculator, the 10 key kind. I'm so condensed right here. I'm just not going to grab it now. I always get extra stuff with this stuff. So let's take a look right here. All right. I'm going to pick up the computer and show you my view. Talk to me, Carson. Talk to me. Who would do that to the Beach Boys? I know, Carson. I see everything. So here's the crate I'm looking at. Okay. So there's tons of records there. So let's see what's in here. I see it all, Carson. The Letterman. Letterman doesn't excite me, folks. They're really good. Wonderful pop, but they just don't sell. The Best of the Lovin' Spoonful. So that looks a little interesting. It's warped. It's dish warped, folks. So I had a good buyback yesterday. They were Def Grips, Eminem, and Aretha Franklin. The guy came in. He comes in fairly often, and this looks a little more promising. And so he brings some good stuff, and I gave him good money. Yep, it's a bowl, folks. It's a bowl. So when I start doing a buyback and I start looking through the records and I start seeing bowls, I see things that are dished. And the more I look, the more I examine, the more I see it, the quicker this buyback happens or doesn't happen. And then, yeah. Let's see. Donny Osmond. Carpenters. Yeah, I can sell a Carpenters record. People like Carpenters. Let's see how it looks. Yeah. It's dished. I don't like buying dish records, folks. Even though I do have a weight that I can put on the records on the table, but I'd rather just put out as nice records as I possibly can. B.J. Thomas, but of course, if it's a rare record, I mean, it's like a Sam Cooke or a jazz record, something that's kind of rare. Roy Orbison. Now this looks interesting. All-time greatest hits by Roy Orbison. Of course, it's a reissue. It's not a reissue as much as let's see. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of dished records. So doesn't mean I don't have some. Doesn't mean I haven't bought any. Doesn't mean I don't have any on the shelf. But I mean in the bins for sale. But it's all about condition and desirability and things like that. This has got a saw cut. Some people buy saw cut. Some people won't. All right, this is interesting. This is a tour book, limited edition tour book. It says the members only happy together 85. Okay, bonus points. Who had a song Happy Together that would have went on tour in 85 that would have had this really cool tour book? All right, let's see if we can earn some bonus points today. Record Crate bonus points. Happy Together is the name of the song and the name of the book. And it just so happens that this is a cool tour book, and there were several groups that got together and went on tour, and they just made the book here. And so I like it. What would this sell for in the shop? $5, $8, $10. What would it sell for if I listed on eBay? $5, $8, $10. But it was a bunch of groups that got together and they went and hey, Carson Tucker, congratulations! You're in 100 record crate bonus points. El Camino comes in second. You get 50 record crate bonus points. But it looks like the Buckinghams and the Grassroots and Gary Lewis and the Playboys, the Turtles, and looks like they did a tour together, and it was called Happy Together. And they list discography for the groups and some advertisements. So this looks really interesting. Maybe I can nab it. Oh boy, this is cool. Air Supply with their tour book. Wow. This might bring a little more money, maybe 8, 10, 15, maybe. All right, guys. Can't decide what to wear to work today. Can't decide what to stay quarantined in. There you go. You got your choice. Who says Record Crate can't give you fashion tips? Yeah, this is cool. I like this. This is cool. Yeah, maybe I'll get this one for sure. I mean, I'm always interested in tour books and printed materials like that. And this is the Radio City Music Hall Easter Extravaganza. I mean, it's cool and it's history and all that, but what would it sell for here in the shop? 3, 5, 7. How long would it sit here? 3 months, 5 months, 7 months. So yeah, I'll put that on the pile. I mean, might be interesting if I can get it for just a few bucks. All right, let's see what else is in here. Here's another Carpenter's record. I've been looking this record for years, folks. So you're familiar with DC5 or Dave Clark 5? They had a record called Time. One of my customers turned me onto it and brought me a CDR of it. Now, if this record is warped, if it's a roller coaster, I still will try to buy it. Yep, and it's got a dish, but I'm gonna try to buy it anyway. Oh yeah, I've been looking at this record. Oh sure, I could go. It did win a Grammy. You're exactly right. I could go online and I could order this and have it here by Friday or Monday. But you know, but this is an extremely rare record. Have you seen it before, Alan? And here's the booklet that went inside. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. This is exciting. Look, it's got naked children on it. I'm not going to show that. You guys can go look in the mirror if you want to see a naked child or self or something like that. All right, put that one to the side. Phil Spector, Echoes of the 60. It feels European and it feels just as moldy as it can be. It's on the Made in England. You know, it's probably a good record. It's got some good songs on here. I Continue to Turn of the Crystals, the Ronettes, but it's a compilation. Compilations are cool. Are you familiar with that record, Alan? This has a dish. I'm not even going to try to get it, but it's interesting the fact that it's a Phil Spector record. But are you familiar with that? Are you familiar with that Dave Clark thing? Where's Amber? Darn, where's Amber when you need her? Somebody used upgraded inner sleeves. We spoke a little bit about this yesterday when Tim was on Coffee and Vinyl, and we spoke about the Mobile Fidelity inner sleeves, and we also spoke about that brush that he uses to brush his records. It's by washer. And so these are dishwashers, inner sleeves. Yeah, so folks, I'm pretty sure most everything here is going to be dish warped. And sure, will it play? Absolutely. Start to finish? Absolutely. Will it sound wonderful? No. I have many DC. Alan, if you can find it on YouTube, it's worth a listen. I'm going to show it one more time just so you can make a note of the title. But it's Dave Clark, and it's called Time. Time, the album. It is so far removed from that 60s sound. But I'll read you some people who are on here. Lawrence Olivier, Cliff Richard, Freddie Mercury, Julian Lennon, Dionne Warwick, Burt Bacharach, Ashford Simpson, Murray Head. Murray Head. No, that was a different Murray Head. That was Max Headstrong. Anyway, Leo Sayer, Jimmy Helms. I'm not familiar with Jimmy. I should be. John Christie. I've seen the name. Stevie Wonder. Songs in the Key of Life. Everybody used to have a dishwasher. You are exactly right, Lisa. They sure did. Yeah. Cheers, Lisa. I'm going to have some coffee. Cheers. Good stuff. Okay, here's another Carpenter's, which I would normally buy. I like the cover. It's a Rhino release, the Searchers' Greatest Hits. I will examine that one. Olivia Newton-John, Physical, Carpenters. Somebody was heavy on Carpenters. So, folks, if I had these records, I would just put them in the dollar bin. Somebody will look at them and say, man, these look great. They do look great. But, yeah, this one's got a little more of a roller coaster. When it's got a roller coaster, I'm a little more apt to buy those. You know, there's been moisture in here. This has touched another record, and you can tell where something kind of dripped in here. So I would like to have it only because it's got a cool cover. I like these sound baffles and set design. But yeah. If it was beautiful, maybe a $6 record anyway. But you know, if I got this, I probably would put $3 on it, maybe $4 on the shelf. But and let's see, of course they have the VPR inner sleeve. Yeah, so I'm gonna put this one over here with the Dave Clark 5 DC5. Letterman. Is this interesting to anybody? Do you find it boring? Something I got to do anyway. Grease. The covers. Yeah, something just dripped on these. Yeah. Chicago. This is an older Chicago, so I might give it a look. Only to find out that it's dished. See, that's what it is. I get my hopes up, and then I'll look at something that's all dished. Is this interesting to anybody? Me examining a buyback and evaluating it. Carson's liking it. Oh, Alan loves the Searchers. Yeah, it is like a treasure hunt, Lisa. And so you guys are seeing it for the first time, just like I am. And there's some good titles. Chris, hey Chris, thanks for joining. Chris is on the Facebook side of things. Cheers, Chris. It's fun. Okay, good. Okay, here we go. Here we go, Carson. How did this happen? What happened? Why was this done? For what reason would you do it? What reason would you cut them out like that? And it's cut. It's not crudely cut, but it's not. I mean, it looks like someone. You know, if you have something framed and matted at an art store, it looks like somebody used a mat cutter to get that circle. So I'm gonna take a look at this one, and I'm gonna see that it's a bowl. But anyway, this is Bill Dell and the Rondells. which is some good R&B, and it's also considered beach music. But I would like to have it, but nah. Okay, let's take a look again. Petula Clark. You see, they're damaged. And oh, here's another example, folks. It's like you're digging for us. Thank you, Alan. I appreciate that. Cheers. Thank you, Chris. Cheers back to me. It's like you're digging for. What's that about the dark side of the moon? You mean in my description? I have no idea what's in here. Maybe I'll find a dark side of the moon. Folks, here you go. I'm gonna come back to this. I'm gonna put it to the side, but this is a Smokey Robinson record. Don't let me forget to come back to that before the event's over with. Moody Blues, Bread, Moody Blues. This is an interesting compilation, The American Dream, the 60s. Hadn't seen that one before. Carpenters, yeah. Good titles in here, folks. Good titles, but it's just, oh yeah, Father Giorgio, he's funny. The Shirelles, Greatest Hits. I love it when all the records are facing different directions. Foreigner 4. This is Moody Blues. Renaissance. Here's a Marvin Gaye record, folks. I've got to inspect this. Marvin Gaye, what's going on? I've got to inspect it. All right. Anybody care to guess? Will it be flat? Will it be dished? It's dished. I'm going to pass. I just don't want someone to buy a record from me and not properly inspect it and go home in its sibilance. Of course, some people could care less. They're like, look what I got. I got a Marvin Gaye as an original pressing. But, it's all about listening to it, folks. At least it is for me. I love this record right here, Moody Blues. This is a 60s record. Sometimes 60 records don't dish as quickly as this, but it's dished. Okay. All right, folks, remind me not to look at any more of them because they're most likely all dished. Yeah. So Carson, you did reference TSDOTM, but there's two records that are really mispronounced in the record community, in the vinyl community. I've had this before, folks. This is cool. Look at that. Look at there. There's an El Camino. We got El Camino in the house, and there's El Camino. But I love, I'm going to drive around in my El Camino with my jukebox in the back. I love it. Dish for all of them. I think so too. But there's two records that are the most mispronounced titles in the vinyl community. Does anybody care to guess what they are? Maybe 100 record crate bonus points. Greatest hits of the 60s. If you know either of the two or both of the two. No. So good question here. So when you say dish, what does that mean? So Chris, if you just think about your plate that you're going to have your dinner on, it's a dish. And when I think of dish, I think of not flat, but concave, complex. They're not flat. The center is either sunken in or raised up, so they're not flat, dished. Yeah, that's what I mean by that. Sometimes I refer to them as bold, but bold is much more than a dished. Yeah. That was a 59 or 60. Yeah, yours is 69. Well, where's the 71 come from? Yeah, they're like warped. Sometimes we think of warped as wow, wonky, and then sometimes I refer to it as roller coaster. It's just they are warped, Chris, but it's just a way of identifying or words that I use. I use dished. I used not flat, covers it all. I use warped. I use roller coaster, and then of course We've all seen ribbon records where they're just like ribbon candy. Yeah, so I hope that helps a little bit there, Chris. Irish Rovers Greatest Hits. Oh, this one's cool. Sticks, Pieces of Eight. I'm not even going to look at it, folks. Pat Benatar. I could get this and replace the cover that I have, but I have to be really careful. Another Pat Benatar. I have to be really careful with my money now since the pandemic. Juice Newton. Okay, let's get back to the two. Oh, you're so welcome, Chris. I hope I was very helpful in every way. Donnie and Marie. So getting back to my question, folks, what are the top two rock and roll records that the title is mispronounced? Let's see if anybody knows. Throw it out there for you. Donnie and Marie, Gloria Loring. I see this record. It never sells. I've never listened to it. Maybe I should. This is in plastic. Ooh, Lisa Hartman. I think she was an actress or is an actress. Somebody thought this was really cool because they put it in plastic. So, oh, there's a second one. There's a lot of Lisa in this one right here, but this one had the timing strip, but somebody removed it. But I'm not going to look at any more of them unless it's something really cool. This is cool, Gary and the Pacemakers. Again, I'm seeing this in the same area, so that tells me something has drifted over these over the years. When I got out of high school, draft. That's far out. Another Lisa Hartman. Somebody like Lisa Hartman. So it's been, I don't even remember if this was someone's estate or what. I just don't recall. A lady called me yesterday. Oh, Laura Branigan. Oh my gosh, what a beautiful voice, Laura Branigan. A lady called me yesterday. Another foreigner force. She's coming in for into Wake Forest, and she says, I just don't want to keep these in my car very much longer. I said, how long have they been in your car? It's only been out there a couple of days. And I'm like, most likely they're already damaged, lady. Bobby V, good music, just doesn't sell. Air Supply, now we're talking. Air Supply. Air Supply. Makes me wonder if they were a record dealer at one time. Phil Spector's Greatest Hits. I've had this before, but I'm not even going to look at it. Good stuff, but yeah, I'm not even going to look at it. It's interesting they do list the players though, which you don't see that on a lot of older stuff. Dionne Warwick. Look at there. I love when I was teaching art history. I love when I had lessons. Curriculum and the lesson plans include the Mona Lisa. I would always call it the history and the mystery of the Mona Lisa. Yeah. Moody Blues, which is some good stuff. Yeah. Boomaguma? That's a good one, but that's a good title. I love hearing people pronounce it, but so I would think of that more as a mispronunciation rather than, yeah. Hey, Lisa's got to run. Take care, Lisa. See you soon. Cheers. So when I say mispronounced, I'm not necessarily, well, I guess Umaguma, but hey, that's not one of the top two that I'm thinking about. Eric Burton, good record. Chicago, and look at there, Carson. They cut it right there. This is a good Moody Blues record. Oh, Olivia Newton-John. This is another good Moody Blues record. I like to listen to the Moody Blues, folks. And look at there, it's cut again. This one's... All right, folks. What was this person doing? The Best of the Ventures. Carpenters. It's so cold. Darn it. Oh, the fix. I don't have this one. How dished is it? Oh, this one's bold. So, Chris, this one's a bold. Gosh, which is a shame. Now, I have a customer who bought one of those record flatteners. I forgot the name of it, but it's the one that you put in the oven, or you can buy a bag, and the bag looks like a pizza bag. These are the inner sleeves that we talked about yesterday with Tim. These are like from the 80s, and you put them in there, and they get all crunched up. They're just hard to get in there flat. And of course, you can take your time and get them in there. A lot of people don't, so they usually get all bunched up. And it's going back in there bunched up. Sorry, folks, it's not my record. But that no disrespect to the person who brought them in here. I try to put them back together better, if nothing else. Peter, Paul, and Mary. Okay. Who are those people, and what would they do? Yeah, the way that they're cut, Carson, it's like they were cut for a reason. This is a good record, Genesis. This is a really good record. Air Supply. Air Supply. Air Supply. I can sell some Air Supply, folks, but not when they're dished. This is History of Rock and Roll, Volume 2 of the 60s. Dionne Warwick. Fleetwood Mac 36. I never knew that there was this movie, Bill Cosby, from the from the original motion picture, Bill Cosby himself. Yes, Fragile and Santana. Should I inspect those two, folks? I love Genesis. Leonard Skinner. I didn't see any Leonard Skinner in there. Oh, Leonard Skinner. That's not. So it's actually. So it's not necessarily Carson refer mispronounced. It's not necessarily the band as much as there's two records. The title of the records are mispronounced. Yeah, I just checked Santana. It's dished. I'm not going to even look at yes. Yeah. Oh, if it was the Pink Floyd, or if it was the Beatles, I would most likely try to see if I can get it. So I've basically gone through here, folks. Here's the one I put to the side. I got one more tub to go through. Here's one I put to the side that I would check. I would show you. So this is Smokey Robinson, okay, and this is factory sealed, never been opened. Now, what do you think? You think it's flat? Do you think it's dish warped? I can sometimes hold it out like that and see if I can see, but I got to fill in, folks. What do you think? Is this flat? Is it dished? Talk to me. It is factory sealed. That could be that sleazy record dealer and say, "Oh no, it's just blah blah blah. Let's put it on eBay and try to sell it for $100." But what do you think? You think the factory sealed one's flat, or do you think it's dished? Okay, got this done. Put these back in here. Now this will be fun to have because I could put it on the wall and maybe do a display where I put another record that covered up part of it and covered up the other part, and people couldn't tell. But yeah, I could buy it and I could make a divider, and I could cut out the Beach Boys and I could tape that to the divider. So when people are flipping through, I could even take this part, the Beach Boys, and make. I've done that before, but as time went on, you figure out ways to do things fast. Okay, great. So I'm going to give you 2 clues. Okay, it depends on how tight the shrink is. Yeah. it's going to show up in a second, but Alan says it depends on how tight the shrink is. That's true, Alan, but based upon all the other records I looked at, I got a feeling that all of them were, I got a feeling that that Seal Smokey Robinson is going to be dished just because of the way they're stored. Yeah, yeah. And sorry, Alan, your comment hasn't popped up yet on StreamYard, so yeah. So there we go. Oops, hit the wrong button. Okay, get back here. Get back here. Come on back. Come on back now. We keep rolling on, rolling. Keep yeah. Here we go. Depends on how tight this shrink is. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Stephen, good morning, Stephen. Cheers, Stephen. The White Album isn't actually mispronounced technically, but it isn't the actual name of the album. Yes. So the record by the Beatles is white. Some of them say the Beatles, and some of them have a serial number. It's actually the Beatles. The Beatles. It's a self-titled record. At a record store, I went the other day, but Stephen, I don't like hearing the White Album. I don't like saying it's a White Album. Well, yeah, I is all due in respect to George and Paul and Ringo and John and George Martin and the rest of the 8 Beatles. I always pronounce it the Beatles, the Beatles. At the record store I went to the other day, they were charging $60 to $40 for Beatles records in trash condition. Some of them didn't even have the actual Beatles record in there. Carson, it's one thing to walk in a store and there's tons of records by the Beatles. And then some stores you walk in there's only just a few. And then some stores you walk in there's none. Well, what do you mean you don't have any Beatles? This store doesn't have anything I want. Well, if you overprice your records, they're going to sit there. And so you walk in there and they have tons of Beatles records that are priced $40, $50, $60 for the Beatles records. There's going to be some in there. So yikes, there you go. Okay, so Stephen chimed in with the Beatles. There's one more record that would be one of the two that that are so mispronounced. That is so mispronounced. See if anybody else can chime in there. Okay, so I got this tub right here. I'm going to put this drying mat back on top of here. And so far from this tub, folks, I was able to salvage the Searcher's Greatest Hits, and it does have some damage on the cover. And then, of course, Dave Clark's Time. Stephen, are you familiar with this record? You may have been here the whole time, or you may just tune in. But Dave Clark from the Dave Clark 5 with the record, the album, Time, the album. I've never seen this on vinyl. I've never held it in my hand. And so this is part of a buyback. And so even though it's dished, I'm hoping I can get it because I would try to keep that. And then we have 3 tour books. Okay, so not much from this entire tub. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the lid back on this tub. I'm going to set this tub on the floor, and then I'm going to go to the second tub. So excuse me just 1 second as I kiss the sky. And darn if records aren't getting heavier and heavier every day. Okay, great. So here we go. Here's the second tub. Oh no. If it's full of 7s, I'm going to die. The entire tub is full of 7s. Hold on, folks. I'm going to grab my computer and show you. Oh, boy. That is a lot of sevens. That is a lot of sevens. That's a nice picture sleeve, though. Shout, Tears for Fears. Even that's dished. Stacy Lattisall. The Rhythm of the Night. DeBarge. Heart. The Heart of Rock and Roll. Huey Lewis in the News. The Heart of Rock and Roll. Nothing. Genesis. The Judds. Laura Branigan. I want to dance with somebody. Let's see how it looks. Oh, gosh. You know, folks, it's really sad when the sevens are dish warped. That's really sad. Absolutely. Yes, you may have a hint, Carson. The name of the band is Pink Floyd or The Pink Floyd. This one's empty, folks. Yeah. Waiting for some comments to pop up over here. But Carson asked if he could have a hint. Yeah. But Carson says, can we have a hint? And the band is the Pink Floyd or The Pink Floyd. Hey, good morning, Carson. Not Carson. Good morning, Adam. Cheers. It's not a recent buyback. A guy brought some stuff in for consideration, so I let it age for a week, and yeah, frustrating to see RCA and Atlantic Sevens and MC. It is, and it's lots of fun putting them back together. So there's two tubs. You can go back and look at the playback at them, but one tub I've already gone through, and I was only able to salvage a little bit. Picture sleeve, no thingy. Look at there. She looks great with her Wayfarers on. That's Olivia Newton-John. And so, yeah. Oh, Janet Jackson. And so, I love Adam Hart Mother. At times, I feel like that's my favorite Pink Floyd record. I love that record a lot. I have it on my computers, and I got CDs here and there and vinyl here and there, so I can listen to it. I like that one. Saucer Full of Secrets? I'm not even sure. Yeah. Obscured by Clouds? No. I like both those records. But Adam, I determined that most of the LPs I looked at were dish warped. Even the sevens are dish warped, folks. You don't see that often. They're usually more resilient. So I'm just grabbing the ones that are on top of their own sleeves, and there's a pile of and it's okay, folks, if you say I'm picky. I just want to be able to provide the best possible stuff I can. I don't want to be that store that puts trash stuff out there. Say what you want. All right, folks, he's not here. If he was here, he'd be like, you have any Paul McCartney? And we could say, yes, you missed it. Lionel Richie, Separate Lives, Phil Collins and Marilyn Martin from a movie. I say, she's so unusual. I love Cyndi Lauper. Culture Club. I wouldn't even feel comfortable putting these in a $2 buy it now. It's a miracle. Sale of picture sleeves. ELO. Greg Kihn. I love Greg Kihn band. If you guys haven't discovered Greg Kihn band, some wonderful, it's wonderful music. It's rock and roll. I think some people would say that it's power pop, but yeah, this is the Jacksons. So, there he is. Want to be starting something. Gotta be starting something. So here we go. Here's Michael. Here's his sister, and here's his brothers. Got the whole family here. Yeah. Has anybody heard Michael's son? I think he does hip. Wait a minute. Does Michael's son do hip hop? I may be confused with somebody else. I know Michael's son does some independent video, like a movie maker. Yeah. It is not a momentary lapse of reason that I'm referring to. I love that record too, and I love the new remaster, remix, additional. Some tracks, some sounds were deleted, and some tracks there were some sounds that were added. I bet Richard is sleeping. Yes, either that or drinking alone. Genesis, Genesis, or yes, this I would say as a whole, Genesis. There's that period of yes, Traver Raven that I just think is phenomenal. So, folks, the rest of this tub is just full of sevens, and they're all stored like pancakes. Okay, and I got a feeling that they've been stored like pancakes for many years, and so I have a tub of 7 inches. I'm just going to randomly grab some of these right here. This one's broken. It's got a crack in it. It's not metal, even though I've heard it pronounced metal. But I got a feeling that all of these sevens are, darn, not only is that dish, it's just roller coaster warp. I mean, they were all, well, except for the one that's got a crack. Here's a Michael Jackson, Beat It. You know, if I had these out for sale, a quarter, 50 cents for the picture sleeves, somebody would buy them just for the picture sleeves. I could spend 5 hours trying to match up any of the single of the picture sleeve, a single that I have that's in a generic or a company sleeve, but yikes. It is not Piper at the gates of Gone, even though sometimes people pronounce it Pipers at the gates. Piper's at the gate of dawn. But anyway, but it is, I got to think now, Piper's at the gate of dawn. Piper's at the gate. Piper's at the gate of dawn. I think that's right. Now you got me thinking. I don't have a copy out to look at. Piper's at the gate of dawn. I think that's correct. Yes, Carson, it is what you just said. Carson, what is the proper pronunciation of that record? What is the proper name of that record? To say the least. I like that lyric in Momentary Lapse where David says Dark Side. I think it's cool. All right, folks, I'm not going to look at any more of these sevens. I am sick of looking at sevens, especially when there's things in here. Maybe so 10, 20, 30, 50, 100. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 500 to 600 sevens are in here, and I get a feeling that most of them are dished. I wouldn't mind having the sleeves, and I could have a sleeve sale if someone just wanted to buy the sleeve only. But the thing about when you get there could be one really cool $10, $20 record in there. How long will it take me to look for one cool $10, $20 record? I don't know. But the time it would take me to look for a $20 record, maybe even a $100 record. Yeah, Carson, you're correct. It is the Dark Side of the Moon. Yes. So there you go, folks. I mean, I have to think about my time and money spent, money return, and sevens sometimes can sit around a store for a while. I mostly look for the picture sleeves from the 80s. Some sevens, but that's selling right now. Hey, good morning, Donald. Cheers. Donald, I'm going to be in Wake Forest today. I hope you come and hang out with me. We can talk about some cool stuff. Yesterday, Donald, I had Tim on, and we spoke about a lot of jazz. We also spoke about a lot of Tone Poet and Blue Note 80. I got a signed greatest hits CD from Greg Ken. He was a morning DJ at a classic rock station in the Bay Area for years. I also like his books. I mean, his morning show was really good. I love Greg Ken. Yeah, I love Greg Ken. Greg Ken, Conspiracy. Greg. I love the way he titled records. Oh gosh, I can't think now, but he always would try to throw in Ken um, in the title of the record. Help me out, somebody. What are some of the cool Greg Ken records? Conspiracy. Greg Ken. I lost on Jeopardy. You know, I love his song, but every time I think about it, I think of Weird Al's version of Jeopardy. I lost on Jeopardy, but wow, I didn't realize he had so many cool books. I'm sure they're wonderful to read. With a guy like Greg Ken and his band, they are just so good. I wish I'd seen them. Next of Kin, Continued, Conspiracy, Contagious, Citizen Ken. It just went on and on. Uncontrollable, Complete, or Rekindled, Rekindling. What a cat. Yeah. Rock and roll. You're exactly right. Rock and roll. Yeah, there we go. Yes, folks. So so let's just say that there's 507 inches here, and probably 100 of them have, maybe 75 have picture sleeves, and so we take 500, subtract 75, 425 that are sevens without a picture sleeve, and let's just say 25 of them have a generic or a company sleeve, and so that leaves me 400. So we got 400 unsleeved sevens, 75 picture sleeves, and 25 that are generic or company sleeves. And then we have maybe 150 LPs that are dish warped, and I'm thinking that all of the sevens are dish warped also. And then we have 3 tour books, and this is Radio City Music Hall, and I'll say the Rockettes. And then we have, it's dish warped, but I'm still interested in it, The Searchers, just because it's a cool album cover. And oh yeah, I don't know if you're Stephen. I think I asked you if you're familiar with this record by Dave Clark. And then yeah, so that's what we have. And of course, in that one crate that I put, that I'm not interested per se, is there's that Seal Smokey Robinson, which I feel is dish warped based upon everything else. So I got to come up with a price and make an offer for this cat. I saw the Greg Ken band live when Joe Satriani was his guitarist. Wow, I have not delved into that. I didn't. Okay. So if Joe was, and I got to check and see, is Joe on some of the records that I've been listening to all these years? Oh, that's awesome. I bet that was really good. I bet Joe took some liberties and played some interesting leads during solos, and I bet he threw in some wows here and there. I bet that was awesome. Greg wrote horror books, a fictional book based on the Beatles' experience in Milana. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what I've been doing, folks. You know, we've been talking about the pandemic, what you've been doing, staying home, isolation, quarantine, and things like that. And stores have been, oh, I'm going to redo everything. I'm going to paint this. I'm going to put I'm going to rearrange everything. And then they're just like ready for everything to reopen, and they go like, and so I haven't had any of that time. And so one of my art students, one of my students from college, reached out to me and she says, "Hey, would you give my son guitar lessons?" And I said, "Well, of course." And then I had to figure out how to do it and stuff like that. But anyway, different story. And so last night, second lesson, but it was the first one that was virtual. We did it on StreamYard, private StreamYard. And afterwards, I just sat down with my guitar and I probably spent an hour just playing. I had not done that, folks, in a long, long time. And I say long time. And it was very different playing the guitar with the condition my eyes are in now, but it was really neat. And then I'm thinking, I shouldn't be lame about this at all, because I think about so many artists who do not have any vision that play the guitar wonderfully. I remember that time. Yeah. And I've never seen it, Stephen. Of course, I could go online and have it here in 3 or 4 or 5 days. But one of my customers told me about it, brought me in a CDR of it, and it's just really neat, and I like it. It was a musical. I know Freddie Mercury. Yes. Oh, I have to check out for that one. Santana was only on one. Oh, Satriani was only on one album tour. Love and Rock and Roll, the final original Greg King album of the '80s. Yeah, Greg Ken. I mean, it's just like. So when I think of Greg Ken, I think that maybe him and Huey Lewis could have went to the same high school, and they each formed a band, and I mean they would just be like buddies, good friends, and one had this record and this sound, one had this record and this sound, but at the same time it's like they went to the same football game and went to the same pizza restaurant afterwards, and they were just friends, and they just both had, I don't know, there's just something about Greg Kent and Huey Lewis that puts me in the same place. That probably doesn't make any sense, but that's how I feel. Yes, that's how I feel. So anyway, I'm hoping I can get this one, and I got this one, and then I got these 3 tour books, folks. And that's what I'm really interested in, these things. However, I got a feeling that the guy is going to be one of those things, you buy them all or you buy none. And I'm okay with that. And a lot of times I say, I'm just going to pass on everything, and I'm prepared to pass on everything if that's the case here. But I will have to make an offer. And so, like I said, I have these 7s here in this tub, and then I have those LPs. I'm thinking there's 150 LPs and 500 7s. I'm thinking everything is dish warped. And so, would you guys like to help me come up with a price for this guy? Not knowing that the guy went online and is like, this record's worth $60 because someone's asking $60 for the record. So, now's your chance, folks. Give me some feedback. What would you offer this guy? Knowing that if I had the records, I would have to put them in the dollar bin, and they would eventually end up being 50 cents, and then 4 for $1, then essentially they go in the free bin. So if I were to buy all of those records and put them in the dollar bin, there's a good chance that 25-50% of them would end up being free. And so, oh my gosh, Carson. Woo! I can't wait to take my records to Carson. He's going to pay me more than retail. Carson, I would definitely say that's on the high side. Anybody else like to chime in? Anyone else? So if I had this record right here, let's break it down, folks. If I had this record right here, and it was flat and it was clean, maybe in October last year, I would sell it for $18. Okay. And now we're thinking, but in this climate, if it was flat and beautiful, maybe 8 or 10, just because things are so much different. Yeah. So that's one to think about. Hey, good morning, Chris. Cheers. Oh, okay. So there were contemporary videos, if nothing more, on MTV. That's awesome. That's a little closer than what I'm thinking, Stephen. Yeah. And I would have to put them in Wake Forest, and when the sun went behind the building, slide them out in front of the door. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, Chris, we need to catch up. I saw a post on Facebook about Oak City Clothing. I did lots of shows with those cats, but are they in your building? Cheers. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm actually thinking a little less than that. I think I'm just going to approach it from the fact that this is really what I'm interested in. So if I were to offer for this one, offer for this one, and then offer these three books right here. And folks, I don't think these books would bring very much money. Granted, if Tom Hunyadi saw this one, he might be willing to pay $10 for it, but I just don't see this selling for more than $10. Start at 30. No, I don't do that, Carson. I give somebody one price and that's it. I'm the CarMax of the record dealers. If I want something, I'm going to offer you a fair price, and it's okay if you pass. I'm not happy. I'm not unhappy at all. If you bring a record to the counter, you want to buy it, and I have $20 on it, that's the price. I don't put 25 on it. Then when you get to the counter, say, "Oh, you can have it for 20." I just don't do that. I'm very fair in that respect. Oh, they purchased the building? Wow. Awesome. Congratulations. So that's probably, so if they purchase the building, they have their business downstairs. Either they live upstairs and they rent the other unit, or they rent the two units and that pays the mortgage. I have no idea what they're doing, but congratulations. Yay, good for you. And Chris, I want you to double check the basement and the attics over there, see if you got any more mannequins. I need to put some in my roadster. Of course, I can't carry but maybe one or two in the roadster. Yeah, so yeah. Good. Hey, Chris is my buddy from days gone by. We did a lot of art stuff together, and we did a lot of. They rent both apartments. That is awesome. Congratulations. Well, good for you and David. His wife has a boutique, and I think it was in the family for a while. Anyway, one day they were switching out mannequins, and I had a Volvo wagon, and that Volvo wagon was full of arms and legs and heads, and it was just crazy. Some of those mannequins were from the 50s, and they had, I can't remember, there was something special about their eyes. I don't think they were glass eyes, but they may have been hand painted rather than production. Anyway, they were awesome. They were awesome. I had a blast with those. I kept those in my car for probably a couple of weeks, and I would just drive around Raleigh. I had the wonderful art car for a couple of weeks. Yeah, same here. I miss the vibe. And, oh yeah, but I've carried a lot of that vibe to Wake Forest, and I have that beautiful storefront in Wake Forest, and we just have a blast down there, Chris. Looking forward to you coming to check out both locations. So there you go. Drove by a dumpster one day. I was like, "What's that sticking out? Is that a foot?" And I was like, and it was. And I was like, "I don't care. I'm not proud at all." Yeah, and I did it all for the cause, for the glory of love. So anyway, yeah, thanks, Chris. So Carson's down to 35. 35, Stephen. I'm just going to start out by telling the guy that this is what I'm interested in, telling him the condition, and say, if I had the rest of the stuff, wonderful titles in here, folks, but they're dollar records, even the sealed one. And would I take a chance and open up the Smokey Robertson and play it with the weight? Maybe so. The chicken is still on the Lampe building. The chicken is still on the Lampe building. The chicken is still in the Lampe building. Yeah. Chris, we need to catch up too, because you remember the predictions about those Lampe kids, especially one that starts with the letter E. She was going to be a serial killer or the president of the United States. I can't remember you saying that. I remember something about the chicken. I know the Lampe building. I just can't recall it. The orange sticker. Next time you're there, take an image for me. Next time you walk past there. Yeah, that was great. We had a cool little crazy run down in Smithville, folks, with some art stuff for a few years, and it was blast. Thank God we had a blast. I'm stopping there. Yeah. So yeah. And then I'm just going to tell him, good titles. Everything's dish warped, and so there's not a value there. And he's going to either be like, just keep it, or walk away, or I don't know. I'm kind of thinking somewhere between 35 and 50, but you guys have been a big help. So 35 to 50, 40, $42. Yeah. So maybe $40, maybe 35 plus the ones I have here. And so I'll offer him, I'm going to do 45. I'm going to see what he says. I'm just going to start out with just offering the ones that I'm interested in. And say, and by the way, if you're interested, I'm trying to think of the chicken connection. That got me think. I'll think about it before lunch, Chris. And there you go. Yeah. So there we go, folks. It's been fun. I appreciate you guys taking the time and helping me looking at this. Now, remember, and now just keep in mind that, not remember, but keep in mind that if every one of these records had the potential of not being dished, and I actually went and had to examine everyone a little closer, and this could be a $200, $300 buyback, but it's always condition and desirability. Yeah, that's what it's all about, folks. Yeah, absolutely. We should do a reunion, Chris, and see if we can get 4 people. Well, can't do anything now with the pandemic, but it'll be great to see if we can get 4 or 5 people back together and just walk around downtown and talk about this and talk about that and see the changes and things like that. Yeah, that would be really cool. But anyway, I had a blast, folks. Hope you did too. A little generous. That would be a little generous. I would be a little generous. Are you saying $200, $300, $400 record of dollars? That would be. I mean, I'm pretty fair, Carson. I try to offer 50%, up to 50% of what I would sell it for, but I can't do that for a dollar record. I can't give them 50 cents for a record I'm going to sell for $1, especially when most of it will end up being in the free bins. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking offering just the stuff I'm interested in, and then seeing what he has to say. And if he takes them away, I'm totally happy. But I don't want to get in a position where I'm taking advantage of someone because they have to move out of a place, or they have someone is going in they're moving, or someone is going into a retirement community, transitional housing, or a nursing home. But sometimes I would be doing them a service by getting rid of the records that are not desirable. And so I don't mind taking a chance with dollar bins for a little while. But anyway, that's a little bit of that. So I'm probably very transparent today with some of the business things that are happening. So that's really cool. Yeah. So, hey, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'll be back tomorrow at 8:30. Always looking. Oh, that huge ones. Yeah, that was actually absolutely. That still hangs out there. Easter Island, kind of a tiki thing. Absolutely, that still hangs out there. Huge. But my buddy, man, she paid thousands of dollars for that. And it's a shame that it's all alone. It needs 2 or 3. Yeah. Anyway, Chris, do you play vinyl? Chris? I know you had that. I know you enjoy the music of Earth, Wind, and Fire, Maurice, and those cool cats. And I remember you had a framed, perhaps autographed. You play. Maybe you'll be a good guest for me one morning with coffee and vinyl. Try to do it every morning at 8:30. Some days I'm late. Some days I don't even come on at all. But 8:30 is a good time. You need a new turntable. Okay. Or if you have a good turntable, get it serviced and make it happen. We had that really good guy that lived in Smithville. I can't remember his name, but he died. Gosh, what was his name? I'll think of it later. He was a wonderful guy. He was so smart with electronics. He had a Z car. I don't know if it was a 240 or 260, but he died. He lived over there in West Smithville. He could have been your neighbor for all I know. I never went to his house, but he was always there. Got a call. Got to go. Take care, my friend. Bye-bye. Hey, good morning, Hot Mess. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you coming out. Cheers, Hot Mess. Hot Mess, you just happened to tune in about the same time that it's time for me to say goodbye. I've been here for an hour, 10 minutes. I try to keep them around an hour and, and cool things like that. Carson got a new table at the thrift for $15. What'd you get, Carson? But Hot Mess, tell me, Hot Mess, are you I love your name, Hot Mess. Are you a vinyl player? Do you play records? Yeah. I'm okay, Carson. I'm dying to hear. Tell me what you got. I'm so glad you did. Do you play vinyl, Hot Mess? I hope you do. If you don't, let's get you spinning some vinyl there. Everybody needs to spin vinyl. A friend of mine called me from a junk store and he says, "Hey, there's an ion here. You want it?" I was like, "No, I don't want it to break if I start working on it." Early 70s JVC. Oh, is that the one that you show in your videos? Yeah. Hey, Carson, if it's the same one you show in your videos, when those are working correctly, they're wonderful. But I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but eventually those plastic controls underneath there that makes all the automatic stuff work was going to fail, and you end up with a fully manual turntable. Oh, well, cool. Well, it's good that you love music. Happy music lover. I like that too. I don't own any records, but hey, who knows? You might stumble upon some records one day and decide to get a turntable and start making it happen. If you do, that's totally cool. If you don't, hey, still love music, so that's really neat. Yeah. Okay, Whitney from Carson. Waiting back to hear Carson. Then I'm gonna have to take off myself and get some things done. I gotta pack some stuff. Let's see what the current weather forecasts are calling for. The weather forecast was calling for rain, so I won't drive my Roadster if it's raining. But I will definitely look for forecasts. Yeah. Well, Carson, you might have to tell me about that JVC a little later, and because I'm going to take off here, folks. I do appreciate everybody hanging out. Cheers. Hope you have a wonderful morning. Play some vinyl. Play some music. Here comes Carson. He says, "One of the gears inside is cracked." There you go. And Carson, I've had several of those tables, and I wish you well trying to find a replacement gear. But it still sounds good as a fully manual turntable when the automatic totally fails. And Vinyl Champion Will has one. Will's probably my oldest. Will's an early customer. He's probably my oldest customer, not in age, but just from buying from me. Will bought some cool records from me years and years and years ago before he even had Record Crate. But he has a JVC. I worked on it some, and it's just like yours. And so there you go. Hey, folks, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope you have a fabulous day. I'll be back tomorrow if things go right and the sun and the moon make alignment and cool things like that. So I'll see you guys later. Take care. Always looking guests. So if you'd like to join me one day for coffee and vinyl, just reach out to me. All right. See ya.